Get it all cleaned up there. What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about a problem I'm sure we've all experienced before. You open up Premiere, get into your project, and it doesn't link your media. What do now? You try to relink and it brings in footage from all these other projects. You don't know what to do because your project's all out of whack. Well, today we're going to talk about 5 steps to better organization that's going to improve your workflow as a video producer and a content creator all around. So let's go ahead and jump on into it right now. Okay, so step number 1 in this whole process is going to be making folders. This is going to be probably one of the most important parts of this, and that is because you want to make folders that stay organized. That way you can always come back and go through them to find your footage or your photos or whatever that may be. This doesn't just work for video. So the first thing I like to do is start with my folders. I build what I call a web of folders. So what you'll do, we'll come over here on the desktop, and for this project, 1 second, this keeps freezing. It's not letting me make folders. I don't understand. Get a Mac, kids, don't use PC. Okay, so the computer's being funky. Anyhow, we've got the footage on the desktop already. We're going to create a folder as we talked about. So what I like to do with my folders is create, well, like what I said, a web of folders. So the first thing we're going to name this, we'll just name this YouTube test video. Then inside this folder, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a new folder for the footage. And then we will make another one for Premiere. And the reason I do this is so that we have all of our footage and our Premiere files all together in this one project, so we aren't going to lose it. So Premiere, and then in the footage folder, what I like to do is create a folder for every camera. So since we only have one camera, and this is going to be the A7S, so we can name this, so we'll just say that's the A cam. So we'll do A cam, and then inside of there we can do another for the card. And so depending on how many cards you shoot, for this obviously we only have one card, but maybe you shot 2 or 3, you can make different card folders. So we'll do card 1. Then what we'll do is we'll open this up, and then we'll come over here, we'll open up our folder for all of our footage. We will copy these. So to finalize step 1, we'll copy these files and paste them there, and we'll come back in just a second when this is done. So give it just a minute to zip on through there. Okay, so we've got our footage transferred. It's all going through. And now what we've got is our YouTube test folder here. Then we have our footage and our Premiere folder. We'll get to the Premiere folder when we make our Premiere project file. The footage, then we come in, we have A cam. If you had another camera, you can make a B camera, or you can name it whatever the camera is. That's 100% up to you. This is for you to remember. The A camera folder, then we've got card 1, because we only shot 1 card. You have all these file names, they're all the same. So going in for step number 2, what we'll do is we're gonna rename everything. So the reason we rename our footage is because our camera, every time we format the card, will recycle these. So for the Sony, for instance, you go through and we have C0001 for the first, and it goes on through that. This will reset every time you format your card. So if you open up Premiere and you have to relink, it might grab the media from the wrong folder if everything's not organized correctly. So what I like to do is take it one step further and rename all these clips. You can rename the clips whatever you want. That doesn't matter. This is for you, and this is what you're gonna remember. What I like to do is we'll name this for the shoot. So I'll abbreviate the shoot. So the first thing I'll do is, since this is a YouTube test, we'll do YTT, YouTube test, dash, we'll say camera A. So this, we'll put an A and since it's card 1, we'll put a C1. How about that? And then if you hit enter, that's going to rename all those. So now we have YTT-A-C1 and then parentheses 1 for take number 1 or clip number 1, and that goes on through 12. So from there, now we've got everything organized, and this should be easy to find if anything were to get lost, because you know every file is labeled and they're in a folder for that project, and everything is very well put away and organized in this. Now, moving on to step 3, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into Premiere. Okay, so now we've got Premiere open. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and create our project file. We're going to put the project file in that folder that's labeled YouTube Test on our desktop. In your case, it's going to be wherever you put it. So here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to hit New Project. We're going to go ahead and name this YouTube Test Video, and we will put that on the desktop under the YouTube Test, and then we'll come over here to the Premiere folder and we will save that here. So now if we go ahead, we'll go ahead and create this project. Okay, now we have our empty project here, and then we'll come back over here to our folder. If you look in the Premiere folder, you will now see the YouTube Test Video. So now we've got our Premiere file here, and as we add footage, as we render, this will go ahead and it'll start accumulating all of your Adobe folders here that Premiere is going to create. And these will all stay there, so you'll have your render files, your audio previews, and all those different things will get saved right here with all of this in the Premiere folder. So we're going to go ahead and come back over here to Premiere. Step number 3 is going to be creating bins. And bins work just like your folders, but these are for Premiere. And this is going to help you keep everything very organized while in your project and you're actually working on the post-production side of things. The first thing I like to do is go ahead and create a bin, and we'll just name this footage. This is going to be where we drag all of our camera files into, and this will be able to house all the media, so that then we can go back and find it, and it's going to keep the same names as what we labeled it earlier. The next bin we'll make is going to be the assets. So the assets folder is where we're going to keep stuff like music, graphics, logos, whatever it may be that you need to help make your project outside of what you shot on your camera. Then the third thing we're going to make starting off is sequences. And so this is a sequences folder, so this will house all of your different timelines that you create. And so we'll get into that a little bit more here in just a minute. So now that we've created our folders, we have renamed our footage, and we've made bins inside of Premiere, we're going to want to import everything into Premiere the appropriate way. Now the best way to do this is to simply drag your folder into Premiere, and it's going to keep all those folders that you made, so that way everything stays organized with cameras and cards. We'll go ahead, we'll open up this footage folder here, and then we'll come back over, open up this folder, then we're going to open up footage, and we're just going to take this A camera and drag that on in. Come back over here, let these files import, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here's step number 4. We've got everything imported, it's all in, and we've got this in our footage folder, so we can close this individual one and come back over to here, our main, and we'll see now we've got footage, A camera, card 1, and they're all labeled the same way they were, in order, and everything is ready to go. So the next thing we'll want to do is step number 5, which is create our sequences. So this is going to really help you keep everything organized when you're working inside of Premiere. And so there's a few things I like to do here. So we'll go ahead, we'll make our first sequence, and you can do this quickly by doing Command N or Control N, and then you will name your sequence. So the first thing I'm going to name this is All Footage. And so this will be a sequence where we can go and see all of the shots that we've gotten throughout the entire project. In this case, it's just going to be these 12. So we'll go ahead and we'll change the sequence settings to match what we shot in camera. So now we've got all of our footage here in Premiere. And the next thing I like to do is go in and I like to color my footage. So I will label everything. So in this case, these are all multiple takes of the same angle. These aren't B-roll footage. This would all be our A-roll footage. So say for A-roll, what we can do is we can select it all, and we can come over here to label, and let's just say, let's label this mango. So we'll label it all in a color. So now if we had B-roll footage, what we could do is we'll pretend like these last few clips are B-roll. We could select these and we would know that these clips are B-roll, and we would label them, and we'll just label them blue, for instance. And now for this example, we would have our A-roll over here in this mango color and our B-roll over here in the blue color. Now, as we know, this is all A-roll. We don't actually have any B-roll, but this is just for the example. That right there is my steps 1 through 5 on organization. And so you can go even further with your organization on detailing things and labeling things and adding more folders. I am 100% for that. You know, break everything down and separate things so that way they don't get lost. Because if you ever do have Premiere unlink your footage for some reason, it can be very easy to lose that. And so the more organized it is, the more easily you can go back and figure everything out and get everything relinked. So if we want here for an example, what we can do is we can actually come back over here to where our footage is saved, and let's just go and change this ACAM folder, and we'll rename this to BCAM. Now, Premiere is now going to lose all the media. So now all of our media is lost, and Premiere has popped up this link media. So where it's looking is in this YouTube test, but it's looking for ACAM card 1. But what's nice is we still have the file name. So we have the clip name. Now, if we had had ACAM and BCAM and we had left them all as C0001 and C0002 and so forth, these A and B cards would have the exact same names. So we would not totally be sure what media to link. But because we renamed it to A Camera Card 1, we can now go back and find it. So we'll locate and we'll come over here to our YouTube test folder, and we can click the footage, and then we can tell it to search. And so it's gonna search, and it immediately found it because the file names are what we made them originally. So we'll go ahead and we'll select OK, and it's gonna relink all of our media, and now everything is back in the project, and we have no issues. So this right here is 100% the reason why I say organization is key, and why renaming your footage is very important and getting it put into the right folders. So to go back through them one more time, step 1 is we're going to create folders. Step 2 is we're going to rename our files. Step 3 is we're going to create bins inside of Premiere or whatever your software is that you're using. Step 4 is we're going to import that footage appropriately and make sure it's in the right folders in Premiere. And step 5 is we're going to set up our sequences so that we have everything labeled inside the sequence so it's easy to find while we're working on our project. And that pretty much does it. That's going to be your 5 steps to better organization and making sure that you don't lose your media or have it get unlinked and have your project all out of whack. So that pretty much wraps it up here. If you have any questions, post them below. I would love to answer them. And if you have any suggestions on better organization, please let me know. I'm always open to helping my workflow and my organization. And last thing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. There we go. What's up, guys? There we go. All right, what's up, guys? Okay, last time, here we go. What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna talk about a problem I'm sure we've all experienced before. Indigestion. My lens is gonna be dirty, I'm wiping it so much. First time YouTube.